Good morning, y'all. Y buenos dias. So for today's video, I have my March favorites, and I was so close to being unable to make this video because it is a time crunch and it's almost baby time, and so I'm just really glad that I'm able to sit down and tell you guys all of my favorites for this month because I do have a good bit of them. So if you guys are interested, then keep on watching. Okay, so the first one is actually a restaurant that I just found in Springfield. So if you guys are in the Springfield area out here in Missouri, it's called Craft Sushi, and it's like a build your own kind of place. And y'all, I was so excited and thrilled when I found out about this place. It popped up on like a Facebook vegan group that I'm in. And it's essentially like, you know, you pick your rice and your veggies and whatever, and you go down the line. And they specifically put like their vegan sauces, they're labeled as vegan, and they have like marinated tofu and homemade crunchies. I mean, it was like amazing, and I'm so excited to go back to Springfield because we're gonna get like 6 rolls next time. So next up are my documentaries, and just because we've been really busy, like I said, running around trying to get everything ready, I was only able to watch 2 documentaries this month, but my first one is 100 Years, and that one I believe was on Netflix. 100 Years, and it's on treaties that have been broken with the northern indigenous people here, and it's just really mind-blowing. I've read several books on these sorts of topics, and so it wasn't as like impactful, but for people who might not know like how deep and how ridiculous some of these issues go, it's a must watch, especially like I said, for those who might not know too much about this topic. So yeah, it's available on Netflix, and it's very eye-opening and it's very angering at the same time, so it's definitely a must watch. The next documentary is called Warrior Women, and it's so empowering, and it was so just in your face, and it was awesome. It was so great. It was actually recommended to me by my friend Amanda, who I will link down below. Her Instagram is Mama of Intentions, and she's awesome. Shout out Amanda, I love you. And she recommended it. It's on PBS online. It's free to watch, and it was so great. And it just talks about, you know, these northern indigenous women and how important they've been throughout history, and especially in the AIM movement. And so very concise, and like the information was presented in a way that was just super good. Like that's like the best way for me to explain it. But yeah, that one was also a really awesome one, and like all of these things, I'll link it down below so you guys can check out whichever ones y'all want to watch. So my next favorite was, we went back home, and we drove to Baton Rouge with my best friend Lindsay, and we kind of had like a girls' morning because we were only there for a couple of hours, but it was me, Lindsay, Rala, and Luna, and we went to Lush. And y'all, there's no Lush out here, and I love Lush. Like, I have been obsessed for years, and living in Baton Rouge, I could just go and like get like a single bath bomb like whenever I wanted because it was so close. But now, like, I went over and I got like a haul, like literally a haul. And it's because like I don't know when we'll be able to go back, and I wanted to like, I like touching and seeing like what I'm gonna buy beforehand when it comes to like bath or like beauty products and stuff like that. And so we got a lot of bath bombs, like all because it was the spring season release just had came out, and so we got like eggs and bunnies and flowers and all kinds of stuff. And not gonna lie, the last 3 days Luna and I have done a bath bomb. Like, she's obsessed, I'm obsessed. It's like not a good combination. And so we have just been going through it, and I'm trying to tell myself like we need to settle down and like do like 1 a week instead of 1 every day, because we're totally gonna run out. But yeah, I'm so excited. I got some of their skincare stuff, which I've always loved. But yeah, so big old Lush haul. Next are my TED Talks. So the first TED Talk is a plan to recycle the unrecyclable, and any TED Talk having to do with younger people just like hits my soul, right? Like any younger child or young adult who is so passionate about changing the world just like tears me up. I'm like, yes, we got this, you could do this, you know? And so it's about, it's a young child, but he's actually talking about like a group that they're in, and they are trying to create activated charcoal out of like styrofoam, which is like super unlikely to make any sort of beneficial material once it's already been used, and they've been successful, and it's really awesome, and you just have to watch it. The next one is Refugees Want Empowerment, Not Handouts, and this was just so beautifully said and like really touched my heart, just because I know many people in those situations, and that's exactly what they want. They want empowerment. They want access to things that will make them have the ability to move up and about. And so having heard this and having said it from that perspective, it was just really great. And that's a TED Talk that I really recommend you guys share for people who might not understand what refugees are going through if they don't know anyone personally. So the next one was a little bit of an eye-opener. It's called How We Sleep Is Not How We Should, I think. I'm actually not too sure, but it was really great and kind of blew my mind, talking about like what our natural sleep pattern should be like as a human being. And so it kind of blew my mind, and it's a really short one, so it's a really like quick watch. And the last one is The Walkable City, and I have watched tons of videos on this before, and it just talks about not just like a one benefit to walkable cities, but like the plethora of benefits that we'd get from more walkable cities, as opposed to cities that you have to have a car to travel or have to have public transit system, and many times those public transit systems aren't the best, and so people are hyper dependent on vehicles. And so this is just a really like good overview video, and it's a topic that I think we should all dig into a little bit more when it comes to planning cities out and like new regulations when it comes to city ordinances. And so that's a really good one as well. So my next favorite is actually things, and I'm so excited. I had gone on Instagram and asked you guys what kind of wallets y'all had. I lost my wallet that I've had for like years. I got it in El Salvador like forever ago, and I lost it with all my stuff in it, but luckily like I was able to cancel everything or whatever. But I had been wanting a durable, quality, beautiful vegan wallet for forever. And even when I had my wallet from El Salvador, like it was rough, it was like falling apart. And so I found this wallet, and it is beautiful, and it is so nice, and just like quality, like you can feel it, you can see it, and it's just so nice. And I already have stuff in it, so, but it's got like the little buttons right here, and it's just so nice, and it's like a nice size for all of the stuff that I always carry around. And along with this, I got the body bag that goes along with it. And to make it even more amazing and exciting, I got it all secondhand off Poshmark. So that was just like the icing on the cake. Like, not only is this brand like amazing and super nice quality, I got it on a deal because I was able to get it secondhand. So I'm so excited about that, and like it's just so luxurious looking, and I love it. I love it. If you guys know me, like y'all know that black all day, everything. And so it's gonna go with everything I wear, because I always wear black. And so I'm so excited, and I've had it for maybe like half the month, but I'm already obsessed. And now for books. So the first book that I read this month was The Future of Humanity, and this is by the scientist Michio Kaku, and I've been following and obsessed with him for forever. Like I had his books in high school, and I was just so inspired by his optimism when it comes to the future. And in the book, he essentially just discussed the possibilities of the future, essentially. And so it was really great. It was a really positive read, which is what I need right now. And I was just really excited to see what he had to say about it. The next book was the hypnobirthing book. And like I said, baby is coming, it's time is ticking. And so I've just been cramming in tons of baby books lately. And that one was a really great one. I've been referencing to a couple of other ones right now, and I'm just excited to find these new techniques that will help me with pain management and just be mindful during the entire time of labor, and it was a really, really good fundamental book, I think, for anyone interested in that sort of natural birthing plan. The next one is Why Not Me? And I know that this is like a super popular book and I just hadn't had a chance to read it. And I got it through the Libby app. Again, if you guys are interested in seeing like how I managed to read all these books, I will link my how to read more video, which gives you more of a breakdown and I'm not just like spending like $200 a month on books. But anyways, Why Not Me? Really, really great book. I know that there's one that goes before that one and where she explains like her going into like her whole realm of being a celebrity and being a writer, but I just really, really loved it. It was really funny. Again, I'm really going for light books right now, especially at the end of my pregnancy. I don't want anything too heavy, but yeah, so it was really funny and I really enjoyed it. And just as I'm talking about how I don't want anything too heavy, the next book that I read was Veganism in an Oppressive World, and it really hones in on the intersectionality that is needed in veganism. And I know that a lot of people who are out there who are vegan who say like, no, I'm just doing it for the animals, like I don't care about anything else, this is for the animals. And like that's literally like the kind of mindset that I had in the beginning. But after researching and doing a lot of digging, you just realize that that's not the way to be. Like you can't be like that because it is all connected, like everything is connected. So you have to have this open-mindedness to figure out all of these problems that are interconnected. It's not just one-sided. There is no one solution to this. And so by reading this, it's a super small book. I highly recommend it. You get, again, an overview of these issues. By no means is it in depth. You still have to do your research, but it just opens your eyes to these different topics that you might have never thought about if they weren't presented in the way that they are. The next one that I read is I Am Malala. Again, I hadn't read it and I felt terrible because I knew that it was such an important book to read, but I'm so glad that I read it. Again, such a beautiful, inspirational story. It's just mind-blowing that a young woman can go through everything that she's gone through and still be so bold and still be so like in your face, like I'm doing this kind of thing. It's just so stunning and inspiring, and just it's a must read, obviously. The next one that I read was Fahrenheit 451, and again, a classic. And I had started reading it like in high school, I think, and then I never did. It was just like not what I was into. And then I read it again and it was like, whoa, you know, like in your face, everything totally correlates with everything that's going on today. Just like many books, like really, really good books are timeless. And this is one of them. Like you can reference this to any point in history and it's still totally relatable. And so that was a really, really good read. Again, it's a classic. And so obviously it's a good read. Small Great Things was another one that I read this month. Really, really good. I think that this is one of those books that anyone can pick up and not really know what it's about and then be like, whoa, now I know so much stuff that I might not have like ever thought about before. And I think that those books are really, really important. Like, yeah, like I have tons of historical books and sociological, like diving deep into books, but not a lot of people are gonna pick those up. And so like, yeah, that's great for people like me who like want to read about those specific topics, but for the general public, books like Small Great Things is something that anyone can pick up and they'll read it and they'll learn a lot from it, as opposed to like some regular like nonfiction book that might not interest a lot of people. And so I think that it was kind of one of those books that I recommend to everyone, especially those, like again, like I said, like that wouldn't really pick up like a history book just to read for fun. And so I highly recommend that, and I highly recommend to share that book because it has a lot of really great information in it that many people might just not think about. My next book that I read is The Hate You Give, which I've had this book literally since last Christmas. Yeah, my friend Nat gave it to me last Christmas, and I had, you know, a million other books, and I kind of have like a list, like a schedule of when I'm supposed to read them, and because I had so many books I hadn't been able to read it. But again, this is like an internationally known book, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna make a movie about it. But yeah, just so good. Very, very strong about what's going on in today's society. So I don't like to explain too much because I feel like I'll give the whole book away and then it's like ruined. But it's about a young girl who sees and witnesses her friend get murdered by a police officer. And so I'll just say that. And just going through not only what his family's going through, but also her and her mental anguish. And it's just really great, really impactful. And I'm really excited to see that a lot of people are reading it and that a lot of people have already read it. So that's really, really good. The next one that I read was The Subtle Art of Not Giving a... and you guys can guess the rest. But yeah, so that book was so good. Again, this is a super popular one. I was finally in the queue at the library, like, to be able to get it. And super great. A lot of people don't like it because it is very in your face, but I find it very real. Like, sometimes we have to hear those things, you know? Like, one of the major points in the book is that, like, yeah, you might not be as great as you think you are, and that's okay, because you're still human, you're still valued, and you're, you know, like, that's fine. You don't have to be some, you know, amazing scientist or amazing business person to be of value to the world. Like, you do your own thing, and yeah, you might not win any awards for it anytime soon, but it's like, you still have to value yourself. And I think that it's really important to hear that. And so yeah, I really recommend that one. The last book that I read was 21 Lessons for the 21st Century. And this one, again, there's a lot of people who did not like it at all. I found, just like many books, like, you have to take everything with a grain of salt and not, you don't have to agree with everything that every author says at all times, because you're not gonna find a person like that. You can't find a person like that, like, in your life. And so I found it really knowledgeable just from the perspective that he had, and I really, really enjoyed it. It was a really quick read, and so I recommend that one as well. And I wanted to share two of Luna's books that we got. So I got this one from Thrifted Books, and again, Thrifted Books is pretty much the greatest thing ever, so always try to grab your books from there first before anywhere else. But Who Are You is this one that I got, and it talks about gender and gender fluidity and gender identity for young children. And I talked about this before, that I think that so many adults need to read children's books, because children's books are presented in a way that's not aggressive, that's not judgmental, that's just very open. And so this is just so good, and it comes with a little like wheel at the back that you can, like, it helps you like figure out, like, I have, and you correlate your body that you have, I am, your identity, and I like your gender expression. And so really great book. Like I said, great for adults. It's very informative. And the next one is All Are Welcome. And it's so cute. Luna loves the artwork in this one. And it just, you know, talks about kids in school and how they're all welcome, and, you know, from different cultures and different backgrounds, that it doesn't matter, and that we all belong. And it's just really, really beautiful. And I love the artwork in this one as well. And lastly, I have a GoFundMe page, and it's for a new nonprofit restaurant that it's opening up called Plant. It is by Mike the Vegan. I don't know if you guys follow him, but he has a really, really great informative YouTube account. And I had just seen his video, and he posted about the GoFundMe page to go for the restaurant that they're opening up. And it's just so exciting. It'll be in the middle of nowhere, Iowa. So tons of pig farms out there, and, you know, in the center of all of that. And so it's really great that they're taking the initiative to do something like that. And not only will it be a nonprofit restaurant, they're doing outreach for education, for not only the animal side, but the health side for people. And it's just really exciting. And like with everything else, I'll put the link down below to all of the stuff that I mentioned. So that is it for today's video. As always, if you guys have any comments or questions, please leave them down below. Tlazocamahti for watching, and I'll talk to y'all later.